have seen a lot of people talking about their journeys in experience design, what their strategies, vision in the industries, in AI and entrepreneurship. Today we have Ashish in our studio and he's going to talk about his journey. We are good friends talking after a long time again, but it's thank you to UX India that we got this opportunity again on the camera. And welcome Ashish, and really thank you for coming down and showing your footprints and experience with her. Yep.
Thank you, Sri. The pleasure is mine.
Good. So Ashish, we will be talking about your concepts, things, your vision, and definitely the legacy that we have to pass on to the next world. Maybe we can get quickly started with your insight about your talk today. I know what had happened, but in a case, if you want to share in a one-liner, what is that? Maybe that is something, maybe an icebreaker for us today.
Sure, yeah. Today we spoke about, or rather I spoke about user experience in the enterprise space and what kind of challenges the designers face when they are designing for the enterprise UX and how they can overcome it, how they can really meet that and move forward. That was all the talk was about.
I always remember, Ashish, you always says user experience, interface design, your what people have to go and move on onwards. I would like to invoke that again. What the miss that's happening today. Your thoughts on it?
You mean what's happening in the industry today?
Yeah, UX and UI and UX. No. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I have a lot of thoughts on this, but to be crisp and to be short, to be precise, I feel that there is a lot of mess created by the proliferation of institutes, so-called institutes today, and I have found that many of these institutes, not all the institutes, but many of these institutes really don't set up the designers for success. We have some institutes or some bodies or some people who will just learn Figma, the tools, and practice for like 15 days and call themselves a UI UX designer. And they are misleading themselves because they also don't have a clear vision of what a UX designer is, unfortunately. And then that propagates throughout the industry.
Yeah.
And that, I think, needs some kind of a stop, maybe some kind of a certification like other professional bodies.
A
structure, yeah. Like we have an engineers body who certifies engineers, an architect's body, lawyer's body, CA's body. So why not a design body, doctor's body?
Okay.
Yeah, these are governing bodies. Why not one for design?
Absolutely. That's something really provoking thought, and I think that becomes our moral responsibility, especially the generation that we are from, to have that somewhere across the globe. It's not only limited to India, of course.
Yes.
And again, in the same line, I think what happens with this Figma learning, after a few months they become mentor.
Yes, that is another thing. Somebody who has 1 year of experience becoming a mentor.
Yes, I think that's where we need to have some standards in place, checking both if these are the things, these are the criteria that are met. It makes sense, and it is really required to have those labels work done in the industry. That's really true. I also have, and I'll just move to the next part of it, but now when UX India has a very specific theme this year is about artificial intelligence as part of the design journeys. I want to know, Ashish, what do you see in 5 years down the line when technology is moving from, we have seen a lot of waves in design practices, right?
Yeah.
When we were not having tools for design, but we were still designing with paper, pencil, and so many stuff. But now the waves that's gone, and now where will you see in 5 years? What kind of design practices that you and me will have, and what are the things that the next generation to look at?
All right, so let me just break down this question here. It is, if you look at 5 years and 5 years just before this, or even 10 years before, it was difficult again for UX designers to convince the sponsors, I would say, to spend money on design. First, the question was, what is the value of design? Right? Why should we spend on design? What is it? Today, the question is, what is the value of designers? Because we have tools. We have AI tools who can actually create, which can actually create something polished within 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Without touching the Figma.
Without touching the tool, without any designer touching the tool.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The question is, what kind of a value, what kind of a thought does it is behind that? So the question about value of designers, and then the profession itself is being questioned.
Absolutely.
We have to ask ourselves, we have to introspect and say, 5 years down the line, what is the value that we as designers can offer to the businesses who are hiring us, people who are paying us money? People will always pay money for some kind of value, and if we cannot make it visible, or if we cannot convince them, then we have to really think what's going wrong here. Are we not able to convince, or are we ourselves not convinced about the business value that we offer?
But this is even not there in the education yet, isn't it?
It should be in the education.
I mean,
it ought to be if it is not.
Yeah, it's
totally
still not
agree.
there. I mean, people are not getting that it's a ready-made understanding that business value that design can add, and we can talk business languages.
Absolutely. I think there was one of the panels or sessions was about teaching business in design school.
Absolutely.
Correct. That was one of the earliest, first ones.
Yes.
And the speaker was absolutely right. Until and unless we speak the business language, we can actually convince people of the business value of what we are doing. It's not going to work.
I agree 200% here. In fact, Kirti sir also mentioned about, doesn't care what kind of pixels that to come up with.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to people. It doesn't make sense to businesses. It's not adding any value.
Yes.
As we have to. And I think the very next question is also very similar line that coming to you, and it's about when you say business, profit and loss.
Yeah.
It's all about, entrepreneurship skills.
Yeah.
My thought, and I just want to know, how are you doing that in Infoblox? Making sure the entrepreneurial activities is in place. Your people are picking this up. How do you see that's happening?
That's a great question. At Infoblox, the team is very young. They are very eager to learn.
Wow.
And not just eager to learn, but to add value, to see where they can add value. They really work with our product managers and technical people. Infoblox is in a very technical field. It's into security and network management. So you have to learn the business. You have to understand the business to be able to contribute. And all the designers are encouraged by the company to learn the business, to take trainings, and they're paid money for that.
Wow.
In addition to that, the designers are extremely positive about it. They're very enthusiastic, and they take the pain to learn the business because they know it's a very niche business, and the expertise will help them in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we also have these OKRs where we say, right, what are you learning about AI? What are you learning about security? What are you learning about this? And we have these sessions, these learning sessions where we share our knowledge. So there are various ways in which we encourage people to learn and contribute and understand.
That's fantastic culture, friend. That's fantastic culture. We really want that to happen across all the companies, definitely. But being a product company yours, it is still relevant.
Yeah.
There are consulting companies, service companies. It's tough for them to have that culture in the platter. But of course, that's every company, every team has their own challenges. It's their bread and butter. And it is, I think I've covered the important part of it. Ashish, one thing that typically we do is a rapid fire.
Okay.
And rapid fire is a very simple 5-6 questions, very simple, but it has to be quickly. I'll just shoot some questions.
I will try to answer.
So in one word, how will you describe yourself?
Wow. Do you have a timer for this?
No, you take time.
I'll say curious.
Fantastic. Okay. Um, what one book or a movie, any fiction, that you find as a very inspiring and changed your life?
Right. That's one book which actually, which I read, and I decided to come into product design, industrial design, and that was a book named Design for the Real World by Victor Papanek.
Oh,
That's an old book written probably in 1970s, but it's extremely inspiring.
superb. Thank you. Um, of course, I know as far as you, but you love working. You love designing. In your work day, what's the best part in your one work day in any particular time?
The type of activity,
Yeah.
design reviews.
Ah, you like grilling people or what?
Well, but it's really good to see how how my team is designing, how it's innovating.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
and
sometimes very inspiring. I also feel a lot of inspiring when our young team are coming up with the great ideas.
Exactly. And
Sometimes
it's
we're
more about
surprised.
guiding them as to how they can improve. So, and they take it really well.
And at times I feel that they're learning. I mean, honestly, because they have very great ideas on the table, and they teach us.
Yes.
So how can we expect
Yes.
that?
It's a new generation. And
New
you can learn a lot from them too.
Superb. Yeah, very true. What do you love about UX India? Or
Think
what do you don't like about UX India?
I think I'll say what I loved about UX India. This is the first time I'm actually participating.
Okay.
But the opportunity for networking is something that was really, really good for me.
Okay, great. Thank you. If not design, Ashish, you tell me, what other field would you have in, or the champion of?
Honestly, it would always be design. Whether if it was not UX design, I would be doing game design, I would be doing architecture,
Oh,
I'd be doing industrial design. These are the three areas I'm extremely interested in.
oh my goodness. It's a lot of creative techno world that you always wanted to be.
Yes.
Great. I think we have covered with the main rapid fire, but I want you to give me one answer again in one word, seeing in that camera.
Okay.
And that's about how do you find UX India 2025?
Mind blowing.
Wow, thank you so much. And it was like very nice discussion, Ashish. It was very quick one though.
And thank you for inviting me for the discussion.
It's like I just took quick few minutes of yours, but it was like very interesting. I feel like resonating ideas, coming vibes here otherwise, and that's great time that we are concluding with all of other people.